Rick has been picked and Nick has been kicked. We bring you the news that Daniel Ricciardo is back in Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
So, what started my perennial heartbreak when Daniel Ricciardo was not renewed with anyone and didn't get a contract with any other team, he has finally got his way back into Formula One, and I'm absolutely buzzing, as you can tell by my match.
And he actually got back in quicker than expected.
Yeah, a lot quicker than expected.
a lot
So that
quicker.
Las Vegas race that he was going to miss, that he was really looking forward to, he's now going to get it.
Yeah, he hasn't got to wait another 18 months.
Yeah, exactly.
He's only got to wait a few months.
Yeah, this brings the news that after 10 races of the season, Nick De Vries has been sacked in true Red Bull fashion. It was something that we talked about. It was something that I can imagine everyone had been talking about.
Yep.
Nick De Vries wasn't performing. Albeit Tsunoda's only got 2 points. He has been competitive somewhat in a non-competitive car this season.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Nick De Vries hasn't been competitive and he hasn't proved anything.
Over a lap, Nick De Vries was actually 0.3 slower than Yuki.
Yeah. And you've got to give him some sort of time. You know, Franz Tost said that realistically speaking, you're looking at 2 years for someone who can get properly into F1 and used to F1. So you do feel somewhat sorry for him, but it's a results-based business, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
And ultimately speaking, he didn't show the promise that Yuki Tsunoda did, and he's no youngster anymore.
No.
So they've cut him.
But the promise that Daniel Ricciardo is showing at the moment is at the Pirelli test on Tuesday at Silverstone, according to sources, who I don't know, but according to sources, Daniel Ricciardo would have qualified on the front row at the British Grand Prix with how quick he was going. And
so according to tomato ketchup and brown sauce, they qualified on the front row.
And apparently
Fantastic
after that, Christian Horner called up Helmut and said, well, you know, he's been banging in some decent times here.
Yeah.
And apparently Helmut got straight on the phone to Nick to say, jog on, basically.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, no one's disputing the fact that Daniel Ricciardo is a good driver.
No.
You know, he raced phenomenally at Red Bull. Obviously, that's what he made his name from. He was doing fantastically at Renault. And then he moved to McLaren, but his problem was that with McLaren, it was a very understeery car.
Yeah.
He likes a very pointy front end,
Yeah.
and he can sort of deal with the rear end stepping out on him, just like Verstappen.
Yeah.
So ultimately, he's stepping in a car that is suited for Verstappen, but it's also suited for him.
It's more suited for him than obviously than McLaren.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, let's face it, it is the RB19.
Yeah.
So it's the fastest car on the grid as well, which, you know, it does you a favour.
Yeah, he's probably going to go down in history as the greatest F1 car of all time by the end of the season.
Definitely.
The way it's going, it's definitely going to.
Yeah, the MP44 looks like nothing compared to the RB19 at the moment.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So he's back in F1. He's back in an AlphaTauri seat, just like the old days.
Yeah,
He's
gone
full circle, yeah. However, he's only on loan at AlphaTauri, so this raises a question for me. What is going to be the scores on the doors by the end of the season? Is he going to be replacing Checo Perez?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. What you got to think is as well is Red Bull. Well, Helmut Marko for the last how many weeks with the talk of Nick De Vries losing his seat midway through the season. Obviously, his seat been taken by Daniel or Liam Lawson. They kept denying it and kept denying it and kept denying it. Even until the day before we heard the news, they kept denying it. And then, bam, that's it. Ric Is Back.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy. A lot of people are sad for Nick as well, which it is a shame. But I don't think we can trust a word that comes out of Red Bull's mouth.
No, but at the same time, they do have to act professionally.
Of course.
They can't be fueling the rumours, can they?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, obviously. But like Helmut Marko said, Checo's still second in the championship.
Yeah,
We've got no reason to sack him. All he needs to do is just improve on his qualifying, which he does need to do. But if you took Daniel Ricciardo in the car, I think he would be in that car or next year's car would be consistent in qualifying and qualifying in the top three easily.
Well, it raises another question, doesn't it? Do they want a driver like Checo Perez who's going to be quiet? He's going to finish P2 in the championship. They don't need him this season like they needed him in 2021 for strategy. At the end of the day, he's doing a job, innit?
Yeah.
He's finishing second.
Yeah.
He's getting Red Bull the constructors. And he's not challenging Verstappen because that's what Red Bull want.
I do think if Checo does end up finishing P2 this season, which, let's face it, he's looking a bit
He should do.
He should do, but he's not looking
we're
promising
coming
at
from
the
a point
minute.
of view of 5 races in a row. He's not qualified in the top 10
Yeah,
now.
but he's not looking promising at the minute. And if he continues to go, continue on the same form that he is at the moment, you could have the likes of Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, just about creeping into P2 and finishing P2.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if Red Bull do win the Constructors, they want a perfect season. They want both drivers in the top 2.
And they want the Constructors.
Yeah, they literally want a clean sweep.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Definitely.
They want the home run.
Yeah, of course they do. And for me, I look at it and I think, well, Liam Lawson's a good driver. He's been racing F2 for a long time. He's surely got the points now, the licence points, to be able to race in F1. He's racing in Super Formula at the moment, and that is one thing that they've said probably meant that he wasn't going to get the AlphaTauri seat.
Yeah.
So he's racing for the championship in Super Formula in Japan, and ultimately they can let him finish that season. Daniel Ricciardo can see out the season in AlphaTauri. Perez just needs to do an average job at Red Bull, because it already seems like their minds are on Ricciardo being in the Red Bull seat, and then
potentially
they have got
Liam
a suitable replacement of Liam Lawson, who's been in Red Bull all the way through the ranks, coming into AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
So there we have it. Daniel Ricciardo apparently is in great form. He's not lost anything according to Christian Horner.
No.
He's doing fantastic laps in that Red Bull. He's in an AlphaTauri seat. He's back in Formula One. And who knows, he might be in a championship winning car once again.
Let's hope and pray.